Hey!
This is JJ and Alex.
I made a name for myself. I told you I won't be denied.
As you wrap up your day, it's time to get your fix of the teams you live for and the sports you love. This is JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Happy Monday, everybody. Everybody all right out there? Everybody okay? Just checking in. This is a welfare visit.
It's okay. You can be honest.
This is your official
We
welfare.
feel the anxiety through the microphone.
This is the official welfare visit from JJ and Alex to you. You doing all right? You checking in okay? Everything okay? Everything feeling normal? Just giving you a little. Do I need to send somebody over? See if you're okay? Do I need to send a meal over? That's what we should do. We should
Send
have
a meal over to BYU fans
We should
right
have
now.
a segment just sponsored by Beehive Meals that, like, we legitimately just send you a meal.
Who do we need to send a meal over to?
Because they have those condolences packages, and like and it's not even about condolences because you don't know if anything's going on here.
No,
but
they're just going through a rough time. We need to send them a meal.
LSU's about to have their introductory press conference with Lane Kiffin. That should be tons of fun.
Ole Miss football fans, we need to send them a meal.
Oh, listen, you know what? They did the right thing.
Lane Kiffin's dog, we need to send him a meal.
They did the right thing by showing up at the tarmac and flipping him off and booing him. That's the right thing to
incredible.
do. That's the right thing to do. You know why? You've been through it, man.
What's with Lane Kiffin and tarmacs? He's got too many tarmac
Dude,
stories.
Like, who is more toxic to be around, like, wondering about their job? I mean, like, if you got Lane Kiffin and Steve Sarkisian to just share the weird stories about the stuff that happened during the time of the places that they've left, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it would be super weird. And you know what? I would read every word of it. Write those books. I cannot freaking wait, Lane Kiffin. By the way, do you think there's a guy who's affected by it at all? Like, if Kalani ends up leaving BYU, and that's the swirling around is what's going to happen to Kalani? What's going to happen to Kalani? If Kalani leaves BYU, that will be an absolute, like, gut-wrenching thing for his family, for the fan base, for all this thing. Lane Kiffin, this is what happens. This is what he does.
This is the most Lane Kiffin thing ever, right?
And by the way,
so predictable.
And by the way, wherever he shows up, he wins, and people forget that that's how he got there.
He doesn't win everywhere. Don't forget USC.
I know, but that
did not go well.
The Raiders. Was he 29 when
he was in exile, remember? He was toxic.
Oh, for sure. He was it took him getting to FAU to get his bones back.
He had to rebuild his career.
Yeah, man. And guess where they did it? Under the wings of the mama bird, Nick Saban himself. Hey, you want to get right? Yeah. You come over here to Tuscaloosa. I'll set you right. And you know what? If you start winning under Lane Kiffin, then suddenly they're the hottest thing out there. So it's not a shock that people want you there. As we watch him walk into the LSU press conference looking sheepish as all get out. I'll tell you what, this is a guy who is used to this, man. He is used to this. All right? It's interesting. Yeah, so he's doing. Should we take any of this, or what are we doing? should we listen to Lane Kiffin explain away what's going on?
Let's not. Did you hear the story about his dog?
Oh, no, what happened?
Apparently he's got a dog, but it's never lived with him. He has a dog, but it's a prop.
Oh, this sounds like Kirk Herbstreit and he got together and hung out.
Like, he honestly doesn't have the dog, but it's his dog. This is how phony this guy is.
I know.
He's so phony.
I don't care. Win some football games and no one will care, man.
That's the problem, though. That's what it's all about, but shouldn't it be about more?
Oh, come on. No, it shouldn't. The only thing that matters at places like LSU is if you can go 11-1 and be in the conversation.
You're right.
Can you be 10-2 and take us to a college football playoff? Yeah, give me a couple of years.
No one cares that Lane Kiffin's not a good human being. They're going to still bring him in,
No.
and he's going to win games.
You
and
know
no
who
one's
the
gonna
people
care.
are who they just fired? They brought in a guy who's arguably faker than this dude.
I agree.
So I think you're fine. Brian Kelly was as fake as it got. You know what I mean? This dude knows exactly how to get through it in the SEC. He's just making the stage bigger every few minutes. You know what I mean? So we're still looking at this thing. And it's just, everybody's wondering. The press conference happened today. with the Big 12 press conference with Joey McGuire and Brett Yormark and Kalani Sitake, and guess what? Half the people there asking Kalani questions only wanted to know, dude, what's going on with this whole? Are you going to be at BYU? You like being at BYU? You get paid enough at BYU? Do you get along with Brian Santiago? Those questions were asked at the press conference about the Big 12 championship. Joey McGuire's laughing his freaking butt off on his way out of his coach's office. You know what I mean? And he's laughing his butt off, driving away going, we got this thing sewn up. Why? Because there's a little bit of a distraction for a team who doesn't need the distraction.
A little bit.
Even just a semblance, just a sliver of some distraction.
This is more than a sliver.
But that's what I'm saying. Even just a little bit, BYU couldn't afford. And they
Right.
and
it
they're
needed
getting
to be all business this week, and it certainly is not.
And Texas Tech, who's a team who's rolling right now, has zero distractions except for what color suit am I going to wear when we get on the plane to leave to go to the college football playoff quarterfinal? You know what I mean? Like that's what they're going to be asking. It's all business there, and here it's the wrong kind of business. So right now, if you're in the state of Utah, one of the coolest years that's ever happened in the world of college football here at BYU and at Utah both, frankly, gets overrun by head coaching questions at both places.
Yeah.
It's a weird moment. So why don't we start there? Why don't we start there with the conversation about how things are going in Provo right now? Because I was down at the game in Provo. I was down at the clinching of the 11th win and senior day and all that stuff. And man, it felt awesome, I think, for those seniors who were there. And now it feels a little bit weird. Has to. JJ, how you doing? Everything good?
I'm good. I know where I'm going to be for the next week. So
I'm
going? Settled.
What are you doing?
I'm here.
Oh, you're not going down to?
Nope. Sam's headed down.
Sam's going to go to Big 12.
Arlington. But
all
trust me, we're all over it. KSL's all over it on Saturday.
I didn't know.
No matter what happens this week, we're all over the big game on Saturday, and
sure
we'll be there. TV, radio.com, digital, whatever they call it these days. We're all over it.
Should be great.
Yep. So no matter what happens with whatever's going on behind the scenes right now, which we're not exactly sure, but we know there's something, we'll be all over it this week. And excited about it. I'm excited about the game. I hate that we're not going to be talking about the game today. Honestly, we can't. We got to talk about what's actually hitting us all today, and we'll work through it. And BYU fans, we'll work through it with you.
Well, let's start the show off officially. Can we get to it? Can we do our thing? Can we get to the business side of it and get it going here? Let's jump in here. At the top of our show, as always, is the cut. We'll get there right now, and let's get right to it. Hey, Lane Kiffin, by the way, he misses his dad. Wishes that he was there to be able to chat with him about the LSU job. I'm sure he is. So let's jump in right here. Let's get this thing officially started on a Monday, on a championship weekend, or on a championship week Monday of this program. Let's get it going right now, and jump in with the cut.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Trajan Wealth brings you this portion of the program, and there you go. Let's get it going. Trajan Wealth, TRAJAN Wealth.com for all your trusted local needs in retirement. It's TrajanWealth.com. All right, let's get it going here. Let's get things jumping in here. The coaching carousel spins as we you brought this up, JJ, and this is the time of year where generally if your team is terrible enough, you're talking about a new coach. If your team is good enough, you're talking about the possibility of a new coach. And the good news is for BYU fans and for Utah fans, frankly, too, you're wondering about what the future looks like at the head coaching spot. At Utah, it's just when are they going to pull that ripcord and bring in Morgan Scalley officially?
Right.
And what's weird is you don't know what it is for BYU. And I'm going to be honest. I did not think that a Kalani Sitake to Penn State conversation would have ever happened in our lifetime. And it's a weird moment for us to be talking about that. But Kalani, obviously, talking about whether or not he's going to stay at BYU. And frankly, it's a place that I thought in my head that Kalani would never walk away from, because it feels like that this would be a lifetime call for him. But things change. Things really do change. Kalani Sitake had this press conference today with Brett Yormark and Joey McGuire, and they're supposed to be talking about the Big 12 championship, and it turned into a lot of different things. And here was Kalani on addressing the coaching rumors, and here's what he said about it when he was asked about it during this press conference today.
I have to address it because the world is small now and people can see stuff on social media and everything. And you guys do a great job at covering things. And so, yeah, I'll address it. They're used to me saying, hey, this is a good sign. Things are going well for us. But I will say that this isn't about me. What I've asked our team to do is to be focused on what we're trying to accomplish. There are marks of finishers, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to finish the season the right way and get after it. And it's required of us to be at our best to play against Texas Tech. So as we go through this week and go through the prep, I also want them to live through all the moments and have the great experience and not waste a moment thinking about anything else. So I've asked our team to be focused on what we can control. And right now we can control what we're doing as a team and not worry about all the distraction. This is a great distraction to have, let's be honest. But, right now we need to be focused on making sure that we're giving our best shot in this game against Texas Tech.
Oh, okay.
When you heard that, when Mitch Harper asked that question, and you heard that, it started to get a little bit strange, because you're thinking, man, this is hard. Because the reality is that he's not giving the answer that fans want to hear.
Oh, no.
But he's also not giving the answer that listen, this is the answer you give, isn't it? Like, it's the answer that you give. And so he was asked about the Penn State job straight up, and then that was the answer. And then here was the follow-up about the same conversation, because, frankly, it's getting weird, because they're going, hey, man, like, we're trying to have a press conference about the Big 12 championship, and so answering these questions gets a little bit awkward, and that's what he brought up. He's like, I'm not going to talk about the Penn State stuff anymore.
I think I already commented on it before. I'm all about the Big 12 championship and keeping our team focused on that, so we're going to avoid all the distractions.
Are you? Are you going to be able to? The reality is you can't. You can't avoid it. Everyone's going to be asking these questions. And it's unfortunate, because if you're a BYU fan, because you're focusing on the Big 12 championship, no one else is, though. Everybody else is wondering. JJ, you're like me. Are you getting text messages from people that you hadn't heard from in a while today that are like, what's going on here, man?
Everybody wants a scoop. Everybody wants a scoop.
And so when that happens, you know what that means? I don't care what happens. The fan base is focusing on this more than they are the Big 12 championship. The Big 12 championship, they're expecting the team to show up and start to play, but the question is whether or not they can. So during that entire press conference, Joey McGuire's talking about Texas, and he's talking about the Big 12 championship and how choked up he was, that he couldn't believe that the goals that they were setting a couple of years ago are starting to come to life. And then Kalani's answering these questions. And then Jay Hill, my favorite thing. Did you hear the press conference, by the way? I heard it live as it was going. Yeah. And I think the guy who was moderating was like, and we'll go to Jay Hill from the Deseret News. I was like, you've arrived when the T is silent on the Deseret News.
Wow.
I'll go to the Jay Hill from the Deseret, not Jay Hill.
Jay Drew.
Jay Drew from the Deseret Hill. And I was like, the Deseret Hill, what are we doing here? But then the question was asked about his association with the athletic director, associate athletic director there, and of whether or not he's getting paid enough. So we'll start with the first one. Let's ask the two-parter that was asked there. And Jay Drew from the Deseret News, he asked the right question, and this was one of them, asking about the relationship with Brian Santiago first.
Coaching is always the first priority, and so when there's extra time to do things, I think the role came because I have a great relationship with our president, our vice president, and our athletic director. So relationships have been amazing with me, but I don't know if I bring much to the table other than my perspective and the effort that I can give. But other than that, I mean, I think there's very capable people here at BYU, and I'm just proud and honored that they would give me a voice and things.
So then the question was asked about whether or not he felt in that two-parter about whether or not he was compensated well enough at BYU. This was the spin that was given after that.
Yeah, I mean, I've gained weight. You can tell. I'm living a good life. So, and then the more Joey buys dinner for me, the better my life will get.
Like, it's just hard, right? Like, you're at a press conference, you're talking about the Big 12 championship, and everyone's asking about these things. What's your relationship like with Brian Santiago? How are you being compensated enough at BYU? The answer is never going to be, are you compensated at BYU more than you would be at a Big Ten, I don't know, where would you put
This is
Penn
one of the
State?
top 10, maybe top 5 jobs in the country.
So is BYU ever going to be compensating you enough
Never.
compared to them?
Can't do it.
Now, interestingly enough, in 2025, you have a head basketball coach that people are looking at and going, holy cow, that guy's he's getting top money.
Is Kevin Young the highest paid coach in the country?
Not even close.
Right.
And so is BYU doing more than it ever has been times 10? The answer is abso-freaking-lutely.
No doubt.
JJ, you and I were working here when the job was up for grabs for Kalani not for Kalani, for Bronco and Kyle Whittingham, and we were talking about mid to upper six figures a year.
Yeah.
Those are the numbers that were being thrown around. And it was like 750 versus like 585. Like, those were the conversations that were happening during that time frame. And that money was big-ish money. But it was also something else back then. It meant something different. It was a legacy of, what are you going to do when you coach at this place? You know what I mean? Bronco versus Kyle in 2005, 2006. Those were awkward moments. I mean, that's the beginning of my career as a person working at KSL and watching that thing go back and forth, and it meant something different. And now, and I'm not here to say that it was better or worse of what type of a person are you? You're going to take the money. It's like Kalani knows the legacy that BYU has because he was coached by the guy who made
Nobody knows
the
it
standard,
better.
that made the standard. And so for me, like, I look at that and I go, this guy can make a very, very good and very decisive he can make a decision based off of the history without somebody having to tell him what the history is, because nobody knows it better, like you said. So nobody knows the history of Utah football coaching better than Kyle Whittingham, because he is the best to have done it there. Am I wrong? He's the best to have done it there ever. Ron McBride included. What's his name? The other guy who made up Team Down South, Urban Meyer.
What's his name?
Well, I say that because he was only there he had a cup of coffee.
That's a great troll, man. That's a great troll.
No, I'm just saying, like
2 years, but his 2 years are very impactful.
They
There's no
were
doubt.
big time.
Yeah.
But Kyle Whittingham, he set the standard at Utah now. He'll have a statue there.
No doubt.
And so for all of these conversations that are happening right now, here's what you need to take away from it. The only reason you're able to have these conversations right now is because you're living through one of the best moments of BYU football history, fans, that you've ever seen. And you've seen some pretty darn good stuff from the guy who coached for 20 years at Lavelle Edwards, right? For almost 30 years with Lavelle Edwards. But things change. And the question is, are they going to change enough to woo Kalani Sitake away from BYU?
Maybe. And based on the reports we're seeing right now, he's giving it serious consideration. Football Scoop reports that they've been engaged in more and more conversations over the past 10 days. Penn State and Kalani Sitake. They've been discussing parameters of a deal. A contract offer hasn't been made, but parameters of a deal have been discussed, and potential staff composition. Now, that's pretty serious talks, right? Now, can we play that first rip one more time? I want to break that down a little bit, because Kalani often, and I love Kalani, he does a great job of saying a lot without saying much. He actually says a lot in this clip, and I want to hear it one more time, the number 4, about addressing the coaching rumors. We'll break it down.
I have to address it because the world is small now and people can see stuff on social media and everything. And you guys do a great job at covering things. And so, yeah, I'll address it. They're used to me saying, hey, this is a good sign. Things are going well for us. But I will say that this isn't about me. What I've asked our team to do is to be focused on what we're trying to accomplish. There are marks of finishers, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to finish the season the right way and get after it. And it's required of us to be at our best to play against Texas Tech. So as we go through this week and go through the prep, I also want them to live through all the moments and have the great experience and not waste a moment thinking about anything else. So I've asked our team to be focused on what we can control. And right now we can control what we're doing as a team and not worry about all the distraction. This is a great distraction to have, let's be honest. But, right now we need to be focused on making sure that we're giving our best shot in this game against Texas Tech.
Okay, let's hear it.
All right. So, and I love and respect Kalani, and I appreciate him honestly answering this question. But there's some interesting things he said there that I'm having a little bit of trouble with. He said this is a good thing for BYU. How on earth is this a good thing for BYU? This is a good thing for him. And again, I have no problem with that. He's earned that. This is not a criticism. But don't say this is a good thing for BYU. It's not. This is a distraction. This is a distraction for this football team. And it takes a lot for you to say, we need to focus on what we can control. Are you focused on what you can control right now? Because what you're focused on is your discussions with Penn State about what your future is. Again, that's totally up to him. He's earned that. Kalani Sitake has earned the right to be in the conversation and discuss a job opening with Penn State. He's that good, and he's done that great of a job at BYU. He has BYU one win away from a college football playoff. Think about that.
Yeah.
Think about how massive this is. And with this team, with a freshman quarterback, and everything else that's gone into this, and all the injuries, they're 11-1. Kalani deserves an opportunity like this, but you can't say these kind of things, like trying to tell your team, like, stay focused on what we're trying to accomplish here, when you're not focused on what they're trying to accomplish here. And you have to get in team meetings. All the kids, all the players on the team know what's going on now.
They're sensitive.
It's like, whoa, coach.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you mean? You're telling me to be focused?
They're sensitive to it because,
meanwhile, you're talking to Penn State's AD about their job, and you might leave.
It's hard because
you got to be careful if you're Kalani and how you address this.
And Penn State doesn't give two craps about what is happening with the college football playoff or the Big 12 championship because they're not in any of those things.
They want this done today,
and they're selfish. You know what I mean? They're going to look at it and go, "Tell us, you got to give us an answer today." And this is why it is awkward. This is why the Lane Kiffin thing. Everybody looks at Lane Kiffin and goes, "How dare you?" Everybody looking at Jed Fish when he left Arizona goes, "How dare you?" And the reality is because the people that are flirting with them are operating in a universe that is totally separate from the college football playoff. You know why? Because they're not in it. They're not in it. They're not in it, and so the conversation starts to swirl around because they go, "Hey, dude, this is the only thing I'm focused on." You know why? Our athletic department has nothing else going on right now except for you. And so are you going to give us a yes or a no? Yeah. Well, hold on. Well, I don't know. And so then I have to go. Then we have to get onto social media and see, hey, here's what the coaching staff would look like. You know, when people start guessing, well, here's who would he take with him? Who would he take with him? So the distractions are more than. And by the way, it starts to go even further because then people start speculating on, well, Jay Hill's going to be the next head coach, right? Who are they going to keep on that staff? Who's they going to? Like, those are the conversations that are happening.
While this team's trying to win a championship this weekend.
And so then you go, well, no, they're focused. This is the only thing we're focused on. Are you? Because it really would be impossible to focus on it. And I don't blame you. And by the way, the reason he makes that I think he's right about it. About this is huge for BYU. You know why? Because they're not having this conversation unless a guy's going 11-1 with this team that people thought were going to win 7.5 games. The legacy that he's building right there speaks for itself. He's been there for a decade. Doesn't he remind you how long it took Bronco to leave BYU? 10 years.
And 10 years is a long time in coaching years. That's a long time.
And those are guys who go, no, he doesn't. He's not going to coach any other place, right? UVA called, and he took that job. You know what I mean? And so when people look and they go, "Oh, nice loyalty, dude," it's like you work for yourself.
Yeah, and let me anybody that's saying that right now,
come on,
you're all human beings and you have jobs. If somebody offers you a 200% raise to go to some other company doing the same thing you're doing today, you're gone tomorrow.
And by
Get
the
out
way,
of here with that.
A bigger company, one that has a better relationship with, with
a company that has better resources, better opportunities, and a chance for you to reach your highest potential.
Yeah. But the thing is that it's hard because James Franklin was squeaky clean, dude, as a human. You know what I mean? And so's Kalani. And Penn State needs that. They need to hire people who are squeaky freaking clean. And then look what happened to James Franklin. They ran out one of the best coaches that they've ever had because they go, he was in the college football semifinal last year, JJ, and he didn't make it through this season.
There's a reason why they pay him that much money. It's a tough job.
Yeah.
But the rewards are great. And if you want to be on the highest level and you want to be great, these opportunities don't come up open every day.
Yeah.
Just think about it. You're a young coach. Can you imagine someday Penn State coming to you and offering you $10+ million per year to be their head coach? That's a dream. So you understand why Kalani's got to listen.
Yeah.
Kalani's got to see if this is the right thing for him and his family. And I respect that, but don't tell everybody to be focused this week. Okay? You're causing the distraction here.
Yeah.
You're the distraction.
Yeah. It's wild.
We got to find the person that did this.
How dare you? And by the way, when you start talking about money, the money, I don't know if it matters to him personally. However, it's $5 million ish, probably, if we're guessing, to $10 million ish, if we're guessing, right?
Oh, what's Penn State going to pay him per year?
Yeah,
it's 8 figures.
It's got to be.
James Franklin was getting 8.5.
Yeah, so
it'll be 10 figures to
cost
pull
of
him away.
business. The cost of business
because
nowadays
you're trying to get somebody to leave a great situation to come, so you're going to raise the level of the price.
Yeah.
Plus, don't look past this either, because Kalani is loyal to the people that have helped him get where he's at. You don't think he's thinking about his assistant coaches right now?
Yeah.
This staff that's helped him get to 11-1 and one win away from a college football playoff. You don't think he's thinking about A-Rod?
So instead of game planning, you start to be like,
it's going to change their lives.
Let me just ask you something. Would you be willing to go to state college? I was like, oof. All right.
It's beautiful there. Different kind of mountains.
All right. Let's take a break. We'll come back. When we do, we got more to talk about. Tons of things to get into. We didn't even talk about the football games that happened this weekend, man. Come on. Let's get into that.
Yeah.
And then we'll get into how frustrating the college football playoff is. That's its whole thing. That's a whole other thing about how frustrating things are. Let's talk about not talking about the actual games themselves. Let's just talk about the rankings that are coming out tomorrow. We'll take the break here. We'll come back. We've got more around the corner. Stay with us. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Let's go!
Complete game coverage of the Cougars is right here on the KSL Sports Zone. It's a Big 12 title game showdown for Kalani Sitake and the Cougars as they square off against Texas Tech for a spot in the college football playoff. Exclusive Big 12 title game coverage on the Zone is presented by JCW's, the Burger Boys. Quality and a lot of it. You're locked on to JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Happy Monday to you. Thanks for being with us. Happy December to you, freaking A, JJ. We are at December now, guy.
Oh, it's here. You know what that means.
I'm way behind already.
Yeah, it's
on the Christmas
All
season.
the Christmas stress just on my shoulders.
I'm excited about it, though. It's fun. It's that time of year for us to get excited.
You sound excited.
Well, here's the thing. Normally, this time of year, this is when we kind of start getting into maybe sneak in a couple days off here and there because it was a long football season and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And got a Big 12 championship. I mean, think about it. A Big 12 championship game. We were crossing our fingers that, here locally, you'd have a couple of teams who were good enough to maybe get there. And the reality is you had both teams who were pretty darn good.
Yeah, in a conversation to the very end.
I mean, we were having this conversation, I think, on with Sly the other day. I was like, if you would have had on the bingo card that they'd go for a combined 21 wins this year between the two teams, like crazy. That spells out a successful season. The tough thing is, this time of year, if you were mediocre, no one's talking to your coach, by the way. And I think that's part of what Kalani was trying to say. He's like, hey, this is good for us. This is a great distraction. You know why? Because it means that we are doing what we're supposed to be doing. Like, we're on track here. We're trying to win football games. And, to his credit, he's been successful along the way doing all the things that he said he was going to do. You know what I mean? Like, set out to you make these goals, and then they go out as a team, and if you can believe it, with a true freshman, they were able to pull this off. Did Bear win his 15th Freshman of the Week award?
He is the Freshman of the Week.
Good for him. I wonder if that's going to equate to, like an all-conference honors, not just on the freshman team, but maybe like, honorable mention, all-conference. If you're the Freshman of the Week in the Big 12, 8 out of the 13 weeks or whatever it is, I wonder if he'd sneak on to be, because they have a first and second team, right? And then they have, like, honorable mention after that. I bet he'll be honorable mention this year. That's going to be my...
You think he's going to be honorable mention?
Yeah, because, think about who the top quarterbacks in the conference are going to be.
Well, Sam Levitt, but he got hurt. Sawyer Robertson's had an insane season.
Yeah, I think you're
Baylor didn't win.
But they didn't win
the
any
clip
games.
they wanted to. Baron Morton.
Did they miss bowl eligibility, by the way? The Baylor Bears? I think they may have. I don't know. I think that... Ugh.
I can tell you who's bowl eligible in the Big 12.
What do you got?
Only just mention the teams that are not.
It's easier to do that.
That's easier to do that.
Okay.
Oklahoma State.
Got it.
Colorado. West Virginia. UCF. Kansas. Baylor.
Yeah,
they
Baylor
went 5-7.
Yeah. Ugh.
Everybody else is going bowling. Even the 6-6
Kansas
State Wildcats.
Yep. Good for them. I'm sure that's where they want to be. Is at the
Baylor lost
Armed
to Houston.
Forces Bowl.
No one was paying attention, but Baylor lost at home to Houston.
Yeah.
31-24. Boy, they did not end the season well.
What did Houston end up in? 9 wins? 9-3, or were they?
Yeah. So I guess we can. Who's the surprise teams in the Big 12 this year?
Houston is 100%.
Houston finished 6-3 in conference, 9-3 overall.
Yeah, that's
Arizona finished 6-3 in conference, 9-3 overall.
I think they might. The thing about Arizona is they're actually a really, really good team. I think Houston kind of faked it a little bit. I think they had a pretty advantageous schedule.
They benefited from the schedule not being terribly difficult.
Arizona looked like a little bit of a tough team that'd be a tough out.
BYU found out.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We respected their quarterback. We already knew how good he was.
No, and that's going to end up being a conversation that they have in that college football playoff room. Is they're going to go, look, Arizona's going to be like 18th or something after they just beat number 20 Arizona State to lock out the. See, they did it in Tempe, by the way. Arizona won in Tempe. Like that's a big deal. What do you have over there?
We don't need to hit the breaking news sounder.
Don't need to?
No.
Okay. Whew.
But on 3 Sports, Brett McMurphy, Pete Nakos, and others are reporting that BYU's Kalani Sitake has emerged as Penn State's top target to become the Nittany Lions' next head coach.
Yeah. Well, I think
top target, not just getting interviewed, top target.
Hey, did anybody do that thing? We haven't gotten to the big time yet if nobody's looking at the private jet fleets going in and out of Provo.
People already did that already.
Come on.
You missed all that.
Show me the tail numbers.
That already happened on Twitter X over the weekend. Someone was already on top of that.
Someone goes, it looks like there's something going out of something looking like it's coming out of Provo going to Penn State. I love that kind of stuff. All right.
So anyway, Houston lost to West Virginia by 10 points. So can you take them as serious as Arizona? No.
Well, West Virginia also beat Pitt, who, by the way, was also beaten by Miami. Just an incredible Miami team.
Oh, the Hurricanes deserve to be in. How do you keep the Hurricanes beat Notre Dame? How do you keep them out of the playoff?
All right, I'll get to that in 1 second.
Florida beat Texas. How do you keep them out of the playoff?
I've got thoughts. Hey, by the way, Wednesday is a Win Ticket Wednesday. We've got tickets to Aerofest you can win for 2026 Aerofest. Sticks, Chicago, all at the Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater coming up on August 30th. Those tickets go on sale this Friday, by the way, for Aerofest. And that's all at livenation.com, and you can get those great seats still available at SeatGeek.com. Plus, you can just win them all day long on a Wednesday edition of our program. They're right here. All day long, by the way, across the station. So
come sail away with Sticks.
Sticks, Chicago. Nice. All right, so college football, week 14. It was a bummer because all the things that you're looking at, you're like, give me some chaos. No chaos. All chalk, except for the fact that and I almost want to say that the Texas A&M loss to Texas was also chalk because we called it. We were like, watch what's going to happen. You're going to have Texas who's going to go, yeah, we beat the number 3 team in the country. We should be a 3-loss team in this college football playoff. You tell me. Sark is like, I'm telling you, Sark is the biggest snake oil salesman out there when it comes to the college football playoff stuff. I don't know. You tell me. That was an undefeated team right there. We just beat number 3 team in the country. We just beat them. We beat 3 top 10 teams in the country. I want to go, yeah, but look at how garbage the rest of your schedule was. Yeah, and you know what? Then you'll disincentivize us to play teams like Ohio State. You know what?
No, that wasn't the problem. You lost to 3-8 Florida.
You also had a really hard time. Oh, we got blown out by Georgia, by the way.
Yeah.
And then you had a really hard time going into overtime against Mississippi State.
Struggled
and then,
with Kentucky?
No, not just struggled. Like they were going to lose that game for sure. Like that's the worst team in the SEC.
Team that just fired their coach.
So
come on.
You did not have a good year comparative to what I think people thought you were going to do. So don't try to sell me that.
It was an okay year with a sophomore quarterback.
Okay. More importantly, the ACC is an absolute mess. Okay. The ACC championship game is going to be featuring UVA at 10-2. Okay. The Virginia Cavaliers. Great year for them, by the way. They're the BYU of
insane
of the
year
ACC.
for Virginia.
Good for them. They got to the ACC championship game. By the way, they're probably going to win that thing. If they win,
the ACC hopes they're going to win it.
I know
because the alternative is
Duke. Who is 7-5? Okay, so your ACC championship game features Duke and features UVA. All right.
So you're telling me Miami at 10-2 is not playing in the ACC championship game?
Miami, who did not qualify for the ACC championship game, instead a 7-5 Duke team, they equaled them on conference wins and losses, and then they won the tiebreak. They lost out to a team on the tiebreak who is 7-5 on the year. And if Duke wins this game, absolute chaos will happen because you'll have a Tulane and probably a James Madison who are going to get into the college football playoff before BYU, before Utah, before probably a handful of other teams that could easily. But no, at that point, you're talking about if James Madison and Tulane get in, you're talking about not just one, but 2 teams who will not be good enough, but on paper made it because the playoff committee. And in a way, JJ, I'm kind of pushing for it. Because if you're a BYU fan and the thing you're hanging your hat on is, well, if you lose this Big 12 championship game, you should still get an at-large bid. That should be the last way to look at this thing. Look at it the way that Kalani does, hopefully. Look at the way that the team looks at it. The only way you know you're in is punching your ticket by winning that football game. And by the way, I think Texas Tech probably gets in. If they lose that game to BYU, I think Texas Tech gets in.
Are you sure about that?
It's going to be hard because there's a
committee that wants to keep them out.
There's a jam-packed group
because there's a lot of teams that want to move in there.
Yeah, and I get it. There's a
Vanderbilt's a team they probably want to move in there.
And man, they finished off the season well.
They crushed Tennessee. They took care of business. Give them credit.
But nothing else went the way that we thought it was going to happen.
No.
Like the Iron Bowl, thanks a lot, Auburn, for not being a very good team. Thanks a lot, LSU, for having the chance to beat Oklahoma, but just not being anywhere near the offensive team that you need to beat that. Like, I was not convinced by Oklahoma. I'm not convinced by Alabama. Neither of those teams, I feel like, are good enough to be in that college football playoff. But
how do you evaluate Ole Miss without Lane Kiffin? See, and your offensive staff.
Now, the argument's been made this week.
What team are you putting in the playoff?
I know. The argument's being made this week about this, the committee already set the precedent here by leaving out a 13-0 ACC champion Florida State team when they had their quarterback who was out. So they might do the same thing with Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin. They will not. You know why? That's a 4-team playoff versus a 12-team playoff.
I don't know about that.
I don't think they're going to leave him out.
I don't know about that.
They will not punish Ole Miss.
I think they might. I think they might, because if you put an Ole Miss team in there that does not have Lane Kiffin and does not have that offensive staff, what team are you actually putting in the playoff?
So you're saying there's space for BYU then, right? Or are you saying there are other teams they're going to put in?
Or there's space for Vanderbilt.
Or
Miami.
Ugh. All right, let's take a break. We got the Weekend Warriors coming up next, people who won the weekend here for you. We'll roll some of those out and much more, so stay with us on a Monday edition of JJ and Alex right here at 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Nobody gets you ready for Utah football more than the KSL Sports Zone.
Ready?
The season isn't over yet for Kyle Whittingham and the Utes as they wait for their bowl game matchup to end the year. Your home for the best coverage of Utah football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're locked on to JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome on back. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Alex Kirry, Jeremiah Jensen, thanks for being with us on the program. Guess what, JJ, it's that time of the night for us to be able to tell you this. Gillette Heating and Air. Weekend Warriors brought to you by Gillette Heating and Air. Right now, get seasonal maintenance done for your furnace, only $59. GilletteHVAC.com is the website. That's GilletteHVAC.com. Let me see here. Weekend Warriors. Congratulations to the Duke Blue Devils football team. They are 7-5 and going to the ACC championship. So there you go. You call them a Weekend Warrior? I mean, they won. Well, it's not about winning the game. They won. Congrats to Cal, who got the upset over SMU that made all this possible.
Well, congrats to the ACC for awarding mediocrity. That's our real hero.
I love it. I do love that there's that it's just absolute garbage. That we're going to have to wade through all of this to be able to understand what is going on in the world of college football.
Conferences are too big.
Is that what it is?
100%.
So,
did Miami play Duke or Virginia?
They beat Virginia.
Okay.
They did beat Virginia in the head-to-head. I don't think they played Duke, though.
So Miami beat Virginia head-to-head, is 10-2 and ranked 12th in the college football playoff rankings. But Virginia and Duke are playing for an ACC title this weekend.
See, this is the argument that they're going to be making. You're just falling right into their trap there, JJ. They'll go, so you're telling me because of a broken system that Miami's not going to be able to play for the college football playoffs?
Well, the system is messed up because of it's not about the college football playoff. It's not about rewarding the teams. It's about making money.
Garbage.
And that's why the conferences are so big. But then it gets time to try to figure out who's in these championship games, who should be in the playoff. It's like, well, some of these teams haven't really played anybody. Like Texas A&M hadn't really played anybody all year, outside of beating Notre Dame barely. And then it came down to playing a really good team. In the last week of the season, they got beat.
I can't figure out if the Atlanta Falcons are the worst team now in the league or if these New York Jets have just found something special from this past weekend. Here's what it sounded like when former Cowboy kicker Nick Folk got the win for the old Jets.
It's going to be a 56-yard field goal attempt from the right hash in rainy conditions here at MetLife Stadium to try and win it. There's the snap. The kick is on the way. It's a line drive towards the uprights. It is good! Nick Folk puts it through. No time on the clock. A 56-yard game-winning field goal. And the Jets mob the Folk hero at midfield. They've won it 27-24.
They got the win. JJ, that's all that matters. They got the win. So there you go.
Good for them.
And then finally, before we get out here, the Denver Broncos, your Denver Broncos.
Yes.
How about it? I mean,
yes.
Look, they just find a way, man.
Yes, they do.
I will say that Marcus Mariota and and the Washington Commanders last night, that was a heck of a ball game by them. Like, they freaking showed up.
Yeah.
That was an awesome game to watch on a Sunday night. I was glad that it was a good game because we had a lot of just like a handful of garbage games throughout the day. And, man, this is what it sounded like when the Denver Broncos won their 10th win of the year.
Denver with the blitz on the way. Ball deflected by Nick Bonito, and the Broncos win it. Great play by Nick Bonito. He came untouched. And the Broncos in overtime have beaten the Commanders 27-26.
It was a nice game. It was a good game. Your Broncos.
Was unexpectedly great.
Look at your Broncos.
They came through in the end, but man, that was, as a Broncos fan, that was a white knuckler. That was not easy.
I'm trying to figure out. I mean, Nick Bonito. It was a phenomenal play at the end, and it was a great play call though, because that back was wide open.
Yeah,
that ball was on its way to converting for Washington to win that ball game. And anyway, there it is. That was the end of it. So, all right. Let me see here. Oh, yes. I want to remind you that the best blankets and gifts ever are the folks at Minky Couture. Save 50% this season with the promo code ZONE50. Shop online, minkycouture.com. That's minkycouture.com. Or visit any of these 6 locations across the Wasatch Front. We'll come right back. Let's talk Utah, Kansas, the game that got forgotten after everything went down. It was like early enough on a Saturday that people kind of went, or early enough on Friday that we kind of went, all right, what's going on here? And then you moved right past it. And then all the news of the weekend, college football playoff, all those things. What's Kyle Whittingham going to do with his future? We'll talk about that next right here, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's another battle for the Aggies, and the KSL Sports Zone has it covered. Utah State looks to overcome another heart-wrenching loss as Bronco Mendenhall and the Aggies are going bowling. Your home for all the play-by-play coverage of Aggie football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're locked on to JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome on in, everybody. Happy Monday to you. Thanks for being with us post your Thanksgiving holiday weekend. Hopefully it was a nice one. Hopefully it was a little bit extended for you. JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. We'll kick things off right now. Let's get into the University of Utah and what the future might hold for their head coach. Wouldn't it be wild if Kalani Sitake and Kyle Whittingham both gone in the offseason?
That'd be insane.
What would be wild is
we expected one.
I was
we definitely did not expect the other.
What would be wild is if Kyle says, and I'm back for another year. Kalani's out. We would have gone, just like we would have called it. Yeah, sure,
man,
why not?
That'll melt our brains.
All right, let's kick it off right here. It's the cut, top of the hour. Let's do it.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Doug Smith brings you this portion of the program. This cut, this hour, brought to you by the good folks at Doug Smith. All you have to do is go to Spanish Fork, American Fork, or in Linden, find the Doug Smith dealership so nobody knows cars like Doug. What do you have? Jazz Rockets 2.0?
Yes.
Got blown out yesterday. Wasn't beautiful, but
pretty humbling.
I'll tell you what did happen though is that Ace Bailey, when he originally got hurt, I think I think it was 2 games ago, we were like, ooh, what's that going to look like? And he bounced right back, and I'll tell you what happened. He had a nice little game for himself. He shows these flashes that we like from the rookie. And you're still getting great play out of Keontae George, who just keeps getting better and better. And obviously, not just Keontae, but of course Larry Markkinen. Man, it's a pretty darn good team considering that everybody said they're supposed to be terrible the rest of the way. And so we'll see what they can do against the Rockets. Tonight.
11.5-point underdogs are the Jazz. ESPN's matchup predictor has the Rockets winning this game 87.2% to 12.8% for the Jazz.
I mean, based off of just one, how good that team is on offense and how bad the Jazz are on defense.
Yeah.
That kind of adds up.
And what did you see
Sunday? Yesterday? got the doors blown off.
Why would it be any different tonight?
Yeah. I mean, it could. You can see, obviously, back-to-back games, you get different things. By the way, how about the Monday Night Football matchup tonight between 2 guys who look like they're still in high school, Jackson Dart and Drake May? Patriots, Giants. So
Two good young quarterbacks.
But Jackson Dart is going to be. He is for
he is
sure
playing.
starting.
He's starting tonight.
Nice.
How about
There
the
you go.
Patriots 10-2?
Crazy.
Chance to go to 11-2, which would be the best record in the NFL. The New England Patriots
The Drake May led
with
New
Drake
England
May
Patriots.
quarterback.
Yeah.
And I bet you can't name
Can't
another
name anybody
player
else.
outside of Drake May
Is Randy Moss
and
still on the
Stephon
team, or-
Diggs. Yeah.
All right. Well, and by the way, Jazz tonight, 6 o'clock pregame, 7 o'clock tip. But then you're also going to get a 7 o'clock pre for the Utah Mammoth taking on the San Jose Sharks, who are actually pretty darn freaking good right now.
Yeah, they have good young talent. Macklin Celebrini's a real deal. And
Celebrini is good.
as we know, he had a hat trick the last time the Jazz played them. Or, sorry, the Mammoth played them.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that if this is the last time, I mean, this is the second time at San Jose that they've played the Sharks in the past, 3 weeks.
yeah.
And, yeah, the last time Celebrini had that hat trick, they won that thing. I think it was 3-2, one of that string of 3-2 losses that they'd had in there. So you'll have all that coming up tonight on the KSL Sports Zone. So packed night here for you. Let's chat a little bit about this Utah football team. Let's talk a little bit about Kyle Whittingham's future. Before we get into it, though, Utah closes out the season with the win at Kansas. It wasn't pretty. The last 2 games haven't been pretty. Is there anything you take away from that? Like, oh, you know what? It was a nice run for them, and 10-2 is really, really good. Utah is definitely on the outside looking in, obviously, because they were ranked 13th in the college football playoff last week after going down from 12 to 13 to make room for Miami. You got to make room for Miami, JJ. And
Of course.
BYU could be a victim of that.
They
This
beat
week.
Notre Dame, so.
Oh, and just what a resume. Kyle Whittingham talked a little bit about what this thing looked like on the weekend and specifically about the struggles on offense, which actually were a shock because they haven't been struggling on offense this year. But here's what he said.
Kansas was playing good defense. Hopefully the cold didn't bother us. I mean, that would be a weak excuse if that was the deal. But we just never got into a real rhythm. Devin is still not himself. I mean, you can see that. Look at some tape early in the year when he's himself, and now, and he's just not quite able to do the things he did early on. But offense did enough. We still had over 400 yards, but we're just used to having more from the offense this year. Just wasn't our most productive game offensively.
When was Devin Dampier then in good shape? I'm legitimately asking that. Are we just talking about week 1? Is that it? Because after that, it was like hit and miss. Like, oh, he didn't practice this week.
When did the injury occur? Was it Wyoming?
Was it at Wyoming? Okay, so
They did not look good against Wyoming, so my guess is he looked good against Cal Poly.
It's been a rough year.
I mean,
in
Devin's
that
been
sense.
fine.
Yeah, right.
I'm trying
but
to
to
make
go
light of him.
But to
but
go 10-2,
we keep hearing about this injury, and it's like, well, is this just who he is?
Well, in that party, there's that party that goes, okay, Devin Dampier gets healthy in 2026.
Yeah.
What's that look like for the Utes?
Not much different than this year, I would think.
Possibility
Right?
to go 10-2 again? Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what they're going to do at quarterback at Utah. They've got a pretty good freshman that proved a lot of things, but didn't prove he can throw downfield. But to be honest, on a consistent basis, Devin didn't do that either.
Yeah.
And if it was because of an injury, so be it.
So
but basically what we're being told is there's another level of Devin Dampier that basically wasn't unlocked this year.
right, and which is scary for other teams. It's good news for Jason Beck. Kyle Whittingham talked a little bit about what his future looks like. I mean, at some point you have to start answering all these questions, and he's been masterful at dodging them forever, and this is what he said about this year versus last year, and this is as much as you're going to get out of him if it comes to him and whether or not he's going to be done coaching.
Yeah, well, it's huge, and I thought about maybe last year being the last go-around, but it couldn't, as I've said many times, I just couldn't stomach ending on that. We needed to right the ship, get things headed back in the right direction, and I believe we've certainly done that this year.
Okay. You read anything into that? He's like, I couldn't end it on last year, but this year, awesome with 10 wins. And then you're like,
He can think about calling it a career after this season. I think that
at what point do you start? At what point do you start making the ever patient Morgan Scalley being like, should I just hit the bricks here? Should I just hit the road? Is that ever going to be a thought process for Morgan Scalley if Kyle just keeps kind of stringing everybody along with when is his last year going to be, and he just keeps coming back?
no, because I think
You think this is it?
all signs point to that. There hasn't been a formal announcement or anything, but his emotions on senior day were something we haven't seen from him. I mean, he's usually very stoic, and it was clear that maybe he viewed that as his senior day. I don't know. We're all jumping to conclusions. We're all looking for clues. Ultimately, Kyle's the only person that knows the answer to this question. He may not know yet. He's got this week to figure it out, right? I think he has to notify the school by December 5th whether he plans to call it a career or do one more year. But, he already said he wasn't going to be here for 2027. Well, next year's 2026. So are you going to do one more year? You said you wouldn't be here in 2027. It's already come to be that time. Of course, we can't hold him to anything. He can make up his mind and make up his own decisions.
The thing is, you already know this team is they've already won double-digit games. They could go, I don't know what the latest, you tell me, I don't know, with the bowl predictors.
It's most likely Las Vegas.
Could be Vegas.
Most likely.
Now, look, if you had a Vegas.
Alamo, Holiday, and Las Vegas are all in play. Remember, they have to fill a Pac-12 bowl slot.
Yeah, but they could do that. Why wouldn't they be able to do the Big 12 invite on that?
They're a Pac-12 team.
Do they have to do that? Okay.
They have to fill a Pac-12 bowl slot.
Could the Las Vegas Bowl invite then a rogue
BYU team?
No. Like a USC. Would that be a possibility?
No.
USC has to go to
USC has to fill a Pac-12 bowl slot, which is likely the Alamo Bowl. And guess who their likely opponent in the Alamo Bowl will be? But nobody wants to talk about it right now because that team is getting ready for a Big 12 championship game. It's BYU. Because if BYU doesn't beat Texas Tech, everyone believes that the committee is going to pass on them, and BYU is going to end up in the Alamo Bowl. And who knows who'll be coaching the team at that point based on what we're learning today. So, yeah. So the most likely bowl scenario for Utah is Vegas Bowl against a Big Ten team. Probably Iowa or Illinois.
I don't like either of those teams.
Well,
10-2 Utah versus like an 8-4.
I'd love to see a punt off in Vegas on the 31st.
Yeah, right.
I'm kidding.
It wouldn't be the punt off. You know what it'd be? It'd be Utah by 30 over either one of those teams, especially Illinois.
Iowa can't score, but even Iowa can score against this Utah defense right now because it's not good.
Yikes. So another shootout.
It has to be.
Okay.
I don't think Utah can play a game right now that isn't a shootout. The good news for Utah is their offense can keep pace this year.
Let me see here. So what's the Pop-Tarts Bowl affiliation then?
It's Big 12 and ACC.
SEC or ACC?
Isn't it ACC?
Ugh.
It's Big 12 ACC if I'm correct.
I'm trying to look at the teams.
I'm pretty sure. Now everything.
Hey, if
all the bowl affiliations
Duke,
change in 2026.
Bring it, BYU Duke for the Pop-Tarts Bowl. The ACC runner-up.
That's more exciting than Utah, Iowa.
And the Big 12 runner-up. Big 12 runner-up BYU versus ACC runner-up Duke. Blah. Come on.
But there's Pop-Tarts.
Oh yeah. Listen, the fans will show up either way. I think they'd be a little disappointed. Although a USC matchup would be pretty good. But
USC BYU in the Alamo Bowl, I think BYU fans would be down for that.
They'd be
I don't know how serious both of those teams are taking that game. Remember, bowl games mean nothing anymore, even less than they did before.
No, for sure.
The 12-team playoff has absolutely killed bowl games.
Well, and on top of it,
it has.
Even if you say, "Oh wow, what a great bowl game that they're going to," it's not. Because the only great bowl game, look, last year it was awesome because you were above what you thought you were going to be as a team, right? And in Utah's case, this year they'll go, yeah, it's kind of nice playing a bowl game and try to get the 11th win of the year.
Can they get their NFL prospects to play in that game? I don't know.
But why would you want to?
I wouldn't.
Right?
That's what I'm saying. How exciting is it for Utah fans when they know that their best players are skipping the bowl game in Vegas?
I would exclusively go to the Pop-Tarts Bowl or whatever bowl we're going in just to recruit the guys on the other team. Show up and go, hey, man, you don't think about coming to Salt Lake?
You know that happens.
Of course. Getting those guys' ears. Be like, I like the way you looked out there, kid.
Let me say this about Utah's season. Where were we a year ago?
Bad news.
5-7.
Yep.
Think about how rough that was.
Coming off of that UCF win where you're like, yay.
Okay.
Down in Orlando. Just to end the season not on an 8-game
It didn't feel good, did it, Utah fans? Think about where you're at now. Now, there's a little bittersweetness to it because this team was so close to being elite. So close. You're probably going to finish 13th or 14th in the college football playoff rankings. You were close. You were right there. You didn't have enough in the fourth quarter to beat Texas Tech. It went the other way, and you couldn't beat BYU. You couldn't finish that game. Those are the only 2 losses. That's it. They lost 2 games all year. They went 10-2.
Yeah.
It's a great season. How many 10-2 seasons has Utah had in their history? If you actually look at the research, it's not many.
Mm-hmm.
It's just there's been so many in the last 20-plus years that you feel like it's supposed to be this way all the time. It's not. This is not normal. This was an outstanding year for Utah football. They went 10-2. They found a great offensive coordinator and a great offense. They're just a little bit of a gap away from being elite. And possibly in 2026, if they roll it back with a lot of these guys, minus the big stars that are going to go to the NFL, we know who those 2 guys are. You got to replace them on your offensive line. It's going to be tough. Utah could be great next year. Utah could be a college football playoff team next year. Utah could be in the Big 12 championship game next year. Is that enough to get Coach Witt to come back for one more year? Is that something he wants to chase? Is that what he's thinking about this week? We're this close. Maybe one more year, I can make a run with this group. But you also have to admit, Utah fans, they're not a playoff team right now. If you watch them play against Kansas State and Kansas, the harsh reality is, do you want that team to go get their butts kicked in a playoff game?
I think people looked at those 2 games and kind of you had like a lot of the up in arms, like I can't believe we're not getting that respect.
Do you know what Oregon would do against that defense right now?
It'd be tough.
Do you know what Oklahoma would do against that defense right now?
It's kind of weird that Kansas.
You know what Tech would do against that defense right now?
Yeah.
It'd be worse than the first time around. But that doesn't take away from what this team did this year. It's a 5-game improvement. That's insane.
Yeah.
Utah fans should be thrilled today that they're 10-2.
7-2 in
conference. Bowl game. You're going to have 2 first-round draft picks, and you're not in a situation BYU's in right now with your head coach, wondering whether he's going to be here or not. You know, if he's not here, we know who the guy is that's going to replace him. There's going to be some continuity or some level of continuity if change comes. Utah's in a really good place right now. Utah fans should be really happy with the way things are at right now, even though it's a little bit of a letdown that just one more win probably gets you in the college football playoff, but you weren't ready yet.
Yeah, but if you said 10 wins, ranked 13th at the end of the year, everyone would have gone, oh, are you kidding?
2 first-round draft picks.
Come on.
Great year.
Now, let's go a little bit way too early. Utah and BYU next year, who's got the edge? Because that defense, BYU's defense, graduates a lot of people. Now, now, obviously, I'm just saying if everything were to stay, meaning if Kalani stays.
This is so hard to do because who's back?
Who's the head coaches? And more
who's
importantly,
BYU's quarterback next year? Is he going to be the quarterback at Penn State?
There's no.
There is a way. There's 100% a way.
That is.
You don't
wild.
think that's going to happen if something happens this week?
Listen, nowadays.
You don't think that's in the plan?
Listen, nowadays when you
don't
hire
think that's
a coach,
being discussed in those negotiations?
Listen, nowadays when you hire a coach, there's almost a little bit of expectation that you do show up with the handful of players.
What happened when Oklahoma hired their offensive coordinator? Who came with them?
Yeah, Arbuckle and Mateer were a package deal, and I think that Mateer actually
what happened to
was
that program? They elevated that program.
It was funny.
What happened to Utah?
Yeah.
5-win improvement.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Beck and Devin Dampier come to town. And give Burt Ficklin some credit on that offense as well. And Wayshawn Parker. 5-game improvement. And it's large part to what that offense was able to do this year. The number 1 rushing team in the country, Utah. Utah has the number 1 rushing team in the country, and suddenly their defense can't stop the run. Go figure.
I would never have thought it. But there we are. With all the team, but let's say that both coaches, let's just say that everything stays the same. And then the people who leave are the ones who graduate, the seniors that graduate.
Okay, or in a top-line NFL prospects.
I wonder how you're able to replace Jack Kelly. Does Glasgow go at the end of this year?
Probably. It's just talked about top-level prospects. Strike while the iron's hot.
Does LJ stick around? LJ sticks around, right?
Yeah, I don't know that he's
going to be first team all. He's going to be first team all Big 12.
I think he should be an all.
What did he end up with, by the way, regular season wise? 1,250 yards, something like that.
6th or 7th in the country in rushing yards.
And phenomenal season for him. Do you cash in on that by hitting?
He's a junior.
Do you think he's a? And you don't. But you don't think he's an NFL dude?
No,
Everybody who talks about
it. No. I didn't say that. I don't know if he's ready yet.
Okay.
It's his, he had the one great season. Maybe that's enough. Does he need another to solidify his status? Remember, running backs don't go as high as they used to.
Well, and they're I will say too though, the running back the offensive line for BYU stays pretty darn stacked still. You have a couple of guys.
Do they lose Gentry?
And
Jada?
Jada and Gentry, but Jada I don't think you're missing much with him leaving. But that's my thought on it.
They got to replace dudes, but every team does. And Utah would have to replace their tackles.
And by the way, BYU's offensive line has actually just gotten better over the years as they've replaced people.
I trust that Utah, I mean, they've become a factory right now of offensive line talent.
Yeah.
So Jim Harney's done a great job there. So all things considered, who's more dynamic offensively? I mean, is Bear back? That's what I need to know.
I think you mean
because
Bach.
Bear Bach. Is Bear Bach.
I hate myself, and
That's
I hate
terrible.
both of you. All right? No, hey, you know what? I'm proud of us.
I still have to give BYU an edge because a lot of the same personnel would be back, especially the key positions.
Yeah. If
how does BYU replace Chase Roberts?
I think that you're going to ask a lot of Parker Kingston.
Is he ready for that?
Can he be good enough? I think
that's the role he needs. I mean, Parker is good in what he does,
and he stepped up, man, big time.
Oh, massively. I mean, he's Britton Covey 2.0. But does he play the same role as Chase? I don't know. I think you need a big body receiver.
Yeah, but if you look at him like Covey 2.0 though, like that's Covey got a million balls thrown his way. He was the guy. On an offense that needed that guy, even if he was a smaller body and he was returning.
Well, it's a coin flip, which makes this great that you've got BYU and Utah this close and in the top 15 in the country when it comes to programs. And there's no reason why it can't be the same next year, even though there could be a much different look on the coaching staffs for both teams next year.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. When we do, we have ourselves a NFL Blitz. The locals in the NFL making an impact, of course, across the entire board. On a weekend where Puka Nakua's insane one-handed catch got outdone by another insane one-handed catch.
There were three of them.
It was so crazy to see these guys all catching balls like that, and Puka's one of them. But we've got folks like Devin Lloyd to talk about, Devon Vele having a little bit of a weekend, and so a nice weekend for guys in the NFL that are the former locals. So we'll take a break. We'll come back. More to go. 97.5 the Carousel Sports Zone.
All the latest news and notes from the league and the locals in the NFL. JJ and Alex bring you the NFL Blitz on 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Alex Kirry, Jeremiah Jensen. Our producer's Alex Napolis, as usual. Big Rams fan. Puka with a nice catch yesterday. Hey, what's that NFC West looking like right now?
They lost the Panthers, man. Should have had the number 1 seed.
Just wanted to hear you say it.
Instead, the Bears are number 1.
Oh, you got the Bears. The Bears.
I gotta apologize to the Chicago Bears because I thought now that this team's gonna start playing real good teams, they're gonna fall off the cliff. Well, Black Friday, on the road, in harsh conditions, they took it to the defending Super Bowl champions and won. The Chicago Bears, we need to take them serious. They are legit.
I think the Eagles are a struggle bus right now, too.
This feels like 2 years ago. Remember 2 years ago when things fell off for them? And
yeah.
Everyone's wondering if Sirianni needed to be fired. Remember that?
Yeah, they extended him. Oh, man. Gosh, my Seahawks blowing out the Vikings, by the way, yesterday. And you know what they continue to do is wear those blue jerseys. I'll tell you, man, it looks good.
Those old school retro.
How long?
It's a nice look.
Oh, who lasts longer in the league, J.J. McCarthy or Shedeur Sanders?
Shedeur Sanders.
Isn't that terrible?
I'm serious.
And Shedeur looks awful right now.
I mean, J.J. obviously didn't play yesterday, but
no, but I was
have
just
not
thinking
been
about,
impressed with what I've seen.
Well, no, and people are starting to get wise. They're putting the numbers out there, and they're like, he technically numbers wise, I think they were like out of 700 quarterbacks over the past 28 years. He's the second worst quarterback rated, like in a couple of different categories. Number one was Jamarcus Russell, the worst.
Oh, my gosh.
So it's
of that whole quarterback class.
Jamarcus Russell and J.J. McCarthy. He's getting absolutely flamed.
Of that whole vaunted class. Like right now, he has to look like the weakest link, right?
So you got the 9-3 Seahawks, the 9-3 Rams, the 9-4 49ers out of that one freaking division, man. It's
the Seahawks are a wild card at 9-3.
I know. And you know what's crazy too is that, they lose 2 games and they're let's say they go 12-5 and that's how many games they play now, right? 17,
correct.
So they go 12-5 and then the 49ers win on like the last week and they end up being 13-4 or whatever it is. If they win out, the Seahawks are in trouble, man. Crazy.
Of the current, I don't know where you wanted to go. I want to go here. Of the teams currently not on the top of the playoff line, which is the top 7 in each conference, which teams are most likely to make a run and make the playoffs? Is it one team or is it a couple teams? When you look at the NFC and the AFC,
all right,
who's going to do it?
You know what's funny
and
is
who are they going to knock off?
So the Panthers have a better record than the Cowboys.
Yes.
The Panthers are they're technically in the running for a possible wild card. Technically, right? Which, by the way, they've won 7 games this year. To me, that's already a success. They're going to go at least 7-10. You have to be excited about that if you're a Panthers fan.
Yes, that's a big, big improvement.
The reality is they're probably going to end up being more like a 9-8, type team. They'll miss the playoffs.
Likely.
Right?
They got to play the Bucs twice, I think.
Right. And they'll miss the playoffs, and it'll still be a wild success. In the first year after Frank Reich, ran that ship into the ground.
They have Saints, Bucs, Seahawks, Bucs.
That's a tough go right there. Wait, Saints, Rams? Wait, no.
Saints,
Bucs,
Seahawks,
Bucs. Okay. Well,
for the Panthers, they control their own destiny.
They'll win one
because
more.
They'll be playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are currently just one game ahead of them in the NFC South.
They'll win one more. What's going to happen is the Cowboys are going to miss the playoffs again.
Yes.
And they're going to miss it because they're going to lose to the Commanders one more time. You know what I mean? They'll probably – I don't know what the rest of the Cowboys schedule looks like.
I got it right in front of me.
What do you have?
At the Lions, which – gosh, that's amazing.
Man, the Lions are crazy because
that's be a good game.
They look like garbage right now.
You know when that game is? It's on Thursday.
Love it.
Prime Video.
Love it.
Vikings. So Lions, Vikings, Chargers, Commanders.
So the Commanders will still – and then Giants too. They have
the Giants, yes.
Yeah. They have to go to the Meadowlands. What do we call it now? MetLife Stadium.
Got
to go to MetLife Stadium.
I have them going 3-2.
The rest of the way, the Cowboys?
Yeah.
If they're 3-2, then they're going to end up 9-6-1.
It would be 9-7-1.
9-7-1.
I don't think that's good enough.
Nope. No, not and because the Eagles, they'll end up pulling away in that division. The Commanders are already 3-9, so they're way out. So
the Giants are 2-10.
Right. Hey, locals in the NFL, who had the best week yesterday for us?
Oh, gosh. Devon Vele had a breakout game for the Saints, his best game as a pro. He had 8 catches, 93 yards, and a touchdown.
Good for him. That's awesome.
It's Toyotathon. And the reason you won't know that is because Jordan Love is the best quarterback in the league right now.
Somebody pointed that out. Yeah, I saw that on social media. It was like, when it's Toyotathon, because
his QB rating on Thanksgiving is elite. It's unbelievable. And he was great again on Thanksgiving. 18 of 30, 234 yards, 4 touchdowns against the Lions.
He got the turkey leg.
And the Pack won 31-24. So he was awesome. Tyler Algier got in the end zone again. That Puka Nacua catch was insane. He just had a quiet 6 catches for 72 yards, but that was one of the best catches we've seen until we watched a better one on Sunday Night Football last night.
How many sacks does Micah Parsons have? I watched that second half where he was he's got 12.5 this year, by the way.
Yeah.
Dang. He is a difference maker.
And he's third in the league.
He is a difference maker, isn't he?
He is. I don't understand what the Cowboys were doing. Imagine this Cowboys team, now that their offense has figured some things out, And I don't know if you have a better wide receiver pairing in the league right now than what the Cowboys have, but they traded away their best defensive player because the owner didn't want to deal with his contract situation.
Let me see here.
And so now the Packers are getting that boost from Micah Parsons, and he's been a huge difference maker for them. He's worth every penny.
2.5 sacks against the Packers, or against the Lions.
That was a massive win for the Packers.
Right, and 2 of the sacks came like with 3 minutes left in the game. Like he absolutely wrecked.
He's a closer.
The dude, Jared Goff.
The dude's a closer.
So that's bonkers. Let me see here. Other locals made impact.
Jalen Warren got in the end zone again. Bobby Wagner had a pick last night, 8 tackles. Devin Lloyd, 8 tackles. That rounds it out.
Okay. How's Rashid Shaheed doing up at the Seahawks?
He has yet to make a big difference, which I'm actually surprised by.
I think it's great because
mostly on special teams so far.
I think it's great because I think that he'll break out and it'll just be at the perfect time.
It's got to be hard to go from a place, the only place you know of in the NFL, to all of a sudden you get traded mid-season and try to fit in on a team that's really good.
Well, and on top of it, you have the best wide receiver in the league is on their team, so you kind of get lost in the shuffle, at least in that conversation.
By statistics, you're absolutely right. No one's better right now.
But Rashid Shaheed, like, honestly, there's no reason he can't go in. You remember when it was like Metcalf, and what's his name?
Lockett?
Lockett.
Yeah.
And you go, Tyler Lockett. And Lockett was kind of that guy. He was always the second or third guy, always there.
Yeah.
And I think that could be kind of that role because I think they want Jackson Smith-Njigba to be the guy going for. And that's a guy you turn into a superstar when he has a superstar type season like this. Right. I mean, the guy could have a 2,000-yard receiving season this year. But I think that, like, when you get to the playoffs, you should be scared to death of a team like that who have nothing to lose. A quarterback who loves just flipping the bird to everybody and going, good, you guys thought I was bad. Every city that I show up in now, I will revamp your whole team.
Sam Darnold's a great story.
Sam Darnold needs to be signed up long term for the Seahawks. I hope they wrap him up, man. I hope they figure it out.
I don't see why wouldn't they?
Because last year he was in this awful situation where they're like, you're doing awesome, dude, and we can't wait to replace you with this guy who's awful. And he goes, fine, do it. And then he goes to Seattle, and, season's not over yet, but he's 9-3. So he's 14-3 last year, 9-3 this year with the Seahawks. And did they end up shutting out the Vikings yesterday? Yeah, 26-0.
First shutout in 10 years.
Holy cow. So there you go. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. When we do, we have a Sucks to Be around the corner. People who are currently sucks to be in the world of sports. We've also got coming up our Rocky Mountain Chevy Dealers Play of the Weekend that DJ and PK gave out. So we'll roll with that. Put your thinking caps on. Think about what the biggest plays of the weekend either were or what you heard them talk about today. So there you go. We'll take a break here. We'll come back. We've got more right around the corner, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Basking in the sports misfortune of others to help make you feel just a little bit better about yourself. As JJ and Alex present,
yes, we got beat. We got beat badly.
It sucks to be you.
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Sucks to be you. What do we have right here? Couple things. Number one, got some homework. But you get rewarded if you do the homework. This morning on DJ and PK, they gave out their Rocky Mountain Chevy Dealer Play of the Weekend. And that Rocky Mountain Chevy Strong Play of the Week comes with it. If you're able to give it back to us, call number 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE. And if you're able to give that back to us, your Amazon gift card will go further today on a Cyber Monday. I would think, right? So look, get it going. We got you with a gift card from Amazon. Let me get that phone number out again if you can recall what the play was. 801-575-ZONE. That's 801-575-ZONE. Annapolis, without being too see-through. Any clues on the play of the week?
Returns make big plays.
He's not talking about your Black Friday purchases either. All right. Big time returns. All right. Sucks to be you. Sucks to be Kevin Patullo, JJ. Why? He's the OC for the Eagles. I know they didn't win yesterday, but
tragic news coming out of New Jersey.
I guess it wasn't. It was Friday. What was funny is that it was a very forgettable Friday game.
It was
you're
bad.
kind of like,
The Eagles did not
and you're
look
kind
good.
of like, oh, I forgot those guys were playing. Turn it on, I guess. But you had college football games on at that point, and sometimes college football takes over for me. I don't know about you, JJ, but I like watching the.
I was able to watch the Utah-Kansas game, and then I was able to immediately flip over and watch some NFL football.
Yeah.
And then I went right back to college again. It was nice.
No, it is.
Finished watching the Utah State-Boise State game, which is a great game.
What a finish.
Yeah. For Boise State.
Yeah.
But anyway, awful news out of Morristown.
What do we have?
The New Jersey home of Eagles OC Kevin Patullo was vandalized with eggs early Saturday morning. A video surfaced on social media of multiple people appearing to throw objects at Patullo's home.
Yeah. By the way, New Jersey?
Act of terror.
Do you tell me? You lived in Philly for a while.
Yeah.
How close was that?
Oh, it's right across the river.
Okay, so it's like
most people involved with the Eagles live on the other side of the bridge in New Jersey.
Is there a tax haven situation there too, on top of the fact that maybe it's a nicer part of town?
It's just the Philly's right on the border of Jersey and Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And also Delaware. So you have a lot of people in the Philadelphia area that live in both New Jersey, Delaware, and Pennsylvania. You have a lot of options.
So, like, when I lived in Washington, it was, if you wanted to buy a new car or, like, a big purchase, you go to Oregon because there's no sales tax.
Yeah.
Right? There's some of that going on?
I think so, yeah.
Listen back and forth.
But I think taxes are bad everywhere out there. So
Sure.
Delaware, I think, is more of a tax haven than New Jersey or Pennsylvania.
Well, it sucks to be Kevin Patullo. I will say also, it sucks to be LSU a little bit, and I'll tell you why. This would be weird. Now, not only are they paying handsomely, I'm sure they felt great about getting their guy, right? So I wanted to read a detail of Lane Kiffin's contract. Tell me if you've heard this. Did you? So he's going to be getting about $12.5 million, almost $13 million, just shy of $13 million a year.
Wow.
Only the third. He's going to be one of the three highest paid coaches in college football. Now, his contract stipulates if he wins a national championship, he will be the highest paid coach in all of college football. Like, that was one of the stipulations. But if I win a national championship, you make me the highest paid coach. So year on year, they have to reevaluate and then basically just go, $50 more than whatever Kirby Smart's making. They have to up it. He has to be the highest paid coach in college football if he wins a national championship. But hold the phone, because also part of his contract was they were going to honor the stipulations in his contract from this year. And that is the bonuses that he would have gotten by getting to the playoff. He'll get it. By getting Ole Miss to the playoff.
LSU is giving him the bonuses
will
he's
pay
missing.
him the bonuses that he's going to be missing, including if Ole Miss goes on to win a national championship, which wouldn't that be awesome? Like a big old middle finger to Lane Kiffin.
They might miss the playoffs now because he's leaving.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that'll happen. But if they make the playoff, he'll get like $250,000 for that, and LSU's paying him, and then he gets like another $500 if they go to the semifinal, and then if he wins a national championship, LSU has to pay him $1 million, $1 million bonus for winning the national championship. If Ole Miss wins a national championship, a team that for all intents and purposes hates the guy. Did you see, by the way, it wasn't just the fans showing up and booing and flipping him off. Did you see his rack of clothes put out in front of the administration building?
That's pretty wild.
Because the person who does that, like, works in the administration office. That's not a student at a frat going, "Hey, screw you, Kiffin."
The people he worked with every day could not wait to get his stink off their campus.
So they rolled his rack of clothing from his office out onto the front of the administration of the athletics administration building. That's awesome. And then also, somebody brought this up too. They go, Europe cannot fathom America's obsession with college football. So they see the pictures of like people booing a guy for leaving and flipping off a coach for leaving. That's par for the course. The crazy thing is when the radio chatter over the when his flight was going in to into Baton Rouge. So the pilot who's flying is talking back to the tower at Baton Rouge. The tower operator the back and forth. It's funny because I'm sure it's out there. We could probably find it. I probably should have said, "Hey, we could find this," but the private jet, for LSU guy, the pilot goes, blah blah blah, 842, 938, starts throwing all the numbers, and then it goes, "Go Tigers," and says it at the end, and everyone's like, "Okay," and then the tower guy goes, "Clear for landing, 384 Romeo, hotty toddy." Like he just straight up, he's an Ole Miss, he's an Ole Miss guy.
Oh man!
So the tower operator's an Ole Miss guy. They're basically crap talking one another on the private jet with
Love
the guy who's in there. That is a different level, and I freaking love it. All right, we'll take a break. We got more to go around the corner. When we do, we'll walk it up. We'll walk it up here for you. Also, Utah's holiday magic starts here. Experience holiday lights at the ballpark at America First Square. Dazzling displays, music and family now running through January 3rd. Get your tickets at the ballpark at AFS.com. That's the ballpark at AFS.com. All right, we'll come back. More to go. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Let's go! Complete game coverage of the Cougars is right here on the KSL Sports Zone. It's a Big 12 title game showdown for Kalani Sitake and the Cougars as they square off against Texas Tech for a spot in the college football playoff. Exclusive Big 12 title game coverage on the Zone is presented by JCW's, the Burger Boys. Quality and a lot of it. You're locked on to JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
You know what? We need this chill vibe on a chaotic Monday, don't we?
Craving ocean spray all of a sudden.
I'm craving a longboard and just not a care in the world. Actually, no, the longboard would be not good for me. Be right on my butt. I don't have it anymore, man. I was never a skateboarder type anyway. Is that your vibe?
I was never good at that. I can't water ski. I can't. I'm decent snowboarding. I can handle that, but I can't ski because I couldn't.
I can ski because I was forced to because I married.
I'm admitting publicly that I'm physically not gifted at all. I'm not athletic. I'm not handsome. I
don't look the part.
I'm not what some would call intelligent. I
turned into Bennett Brower suddenly.
Sharing all my weaknesses here.
No, look.
Getting vulnerable today here on JJ and Alex.
Nah, it's therapeutic. It really is.
I'm kind of a piece of crap.
Get that drop.
Really not a good human being at all.
Oh my gosh. All right, so Napolis, you strike me as a big time skateboarder. No, okay.
Why is that? Is there some stereotype or something?
No, I was joking.
No, I think you owe Napolis an explanation.
Because he's got longer hair.
Why did you assume he's into skating?
He has that Vans tattoo on his forehead. I thought that was weird.
Vans.
I thought for sure. I think Ben Anderson's the only skateboarder on staff. He's the only one we could peg as a skateboarder. The rest of us are all just goofy former athletes. It's fine. Yeah, I can ski. Look, well, part of it is because I married my wife was a ski instructor at Deer Valley for a long time, so she's a great golfer. She's actually a certified.
What does she not do?
Yeah, no, she's a really good tennis player in high school. She was the captain of the drill team. I married an athlete, but she kind of went more the route of. But she's a really good skier. That's the thing, and I had to be. For a fat dude, that's hard to be like, why don't you put on these skis and figure it out when you're mid-20s? You know what I mean?
Put something on your feet and lose complete control of the lower half of your body.
You're fat.
At
Try
high
this
speeds.
on. Yeah. Most of my weight loss has been motivated by the fact that I know I have to ski every year at least once. So, but the expectations are pretty low now. I'm just I hit those easy blues now and it's fine. Ski with the kids. It's not a big deal. Let me see here. Let's kick off the hour. We got lots to talk about. By the way, we never spoke about the BYU and UCF game. There was just so much other stuff going on.
Why would we?
Floating around. We've got. I've got an update.
There's a lot more stuff coming out.
I know. I've got a tweet that we're going to read from Pete Thamel here. Of course, the rumors that have been swirling around have all involved Kalani Sitake and the possibility of him taking this Penn State job. Obviously, that is a question mark that Penn State wants an answer to, immediately. They don't care that your team is on the verge of doing something special. Because if BYU goes to the Big 12 championship game and wins it, then what? Then you punt that even further down the line. You go, got a quarterfinal game, because I think they'd probably get that. No, they'd probably be the 5th seed, right?
I don't
think 5th or 6th seed?
Penn State's going to wait.
That's what I'm saying. Like and that was the. Well, let's kick it off here, because let's play the cut. Let's get into it, because I want to officially read you this tweet that Pete Thamel sent out, and we'll kind of go from there. All right, jump in right here, top of the hour. It's the cut.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, so here's what it looks like. By the way, this portion of the show brought to you by Trajan Wealth, TRAJAN Wealth.com. For all your trusted local needs in retirement, it's TrajanWealth.com. Pete Thamel, ESPN, reporting two different things. We've seen a couple different tweets that have been floating around from different folks who are talking about this Kalani and Penn State deal. Well, the possibility of Penn State at least looking into it. Last hour we talked about the tweet that Brett McMurphy sent out from On3 that said this is their focus is on Kalani Sitake, top of the list for Penn State, which is a big deal. According to Pete Thamel, sources say that Kalani Sitake is the focus of Penn State's head coaching search. No deal has been signed as the sides continue discussions. The sides have met. There is mutual interest. These sides have discussed staffing and other details of what Sitake's tenure in State College would look like. Sitake has stressed this week his focus is on the Big 12 title game. There's still steps that need to happen before a deal comes together. That sounds like it's gotten way further down the road than we thought, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you're talking about, you think Kalani's not focused necessarily. I mean, it's not about not focused, because he told Penn State, hey, man, I'm focused on Big 12 championship this week. Well, if they win this Big 12 championship, and then what happens? Then he's like, well, I'm focused on the quarterfinals. Well, I'm focused on the
he's
focused on the semifinals.
First-round college football playoff game in a week and a half.
And if they've got to host it at Lavelle Edwards Stadium, if they're like a 5 or 6 seed, which they would be, I think if they win the Big 12 championship, they're going to be probably up into that. They'll be a one-loss team. They would lead.
How many spots would they move up if they beat Texas Tech?
Well, Oklahoma State's not playing in an SEC championship game. Or it's not. Oklahoma's not playing in an SEC championship game. Notre Dame's not playing in any championship game. Who else is right there? Alabama's not. Alabama's probably going to lose the SEC championship game. I bet they go up to 7 or 6. And so if that's the case,
they'd be hosting
a game on December 19th or December 20th at Lavelle Edwards Stadium. So then that's awkward. You're back at home hosting a game where everybody's looking at you going, are you even here, man? You know what I mean? At that point, you probably have to make the transition. Tell me if this is what it would sound like. You have to make the transition to, I've accepted the job and I want to make sure and finish the job here. Kalani Sitake is going to be your next head coach, but they're going to allow him to finish coaching. The thing is, if you're Penn State, you don't want him, or if you're BYU, you don't want him coaching, because it's the same reason that Ole Miss doesn't want Lane Kiffin coaching, which is...
It's not in the same conference,
but
you don't think he's going to try to take most, if not all, the staff? You don't think he's not going to try to take his star players with him?
Well, and you already saw the tweet said that they were talking about staff. They were already talking about what the staff would look like.
Of course they would. That's an important part of the negotiations.
Well, and on top
you got to pay
that,
for those guys.
Right, and so they start talking about what a number looks like. So if you think Kalani might have his head in different places and that he and his wife and family have a difficult conversation to have over the next couple of weeks, add into it that there are probably a handful of other folks, at least, that are on that staff that are also probably having that discussion with their family members.
Right.
And so then you think to yourself, how are they going to do that? How are they going to play in this Big 12 championship game?
Because it's going to take everything they've got to beat that team. That Texas Tech team is a juggernaut.
Right, and they could not afford even the slightest of distractions. And this
Who would have thought that the distraction would be your head coach?
I mean,
and
honestly,
his conversations with Penn State.
In a million years, Penn State calling Kalani Sitake would have never been something that I would have ever thought. Which is what's wild, because these institutions, they sniff out a coach and there's a vibe, and they see what their fan base kind of reacts to, and they hear that. Wow, what do you think about this guy? beyond reproach. Like, he's never going to be investigated for anything, right? Like, he's never going to get looked at and go, man, this guy, we are going to question his, his background, his family life, blah, blah, blah. None of that. He'll always win that battle. So that's part of the thing that Penn State does. But again, they just fired a guy who was the same way, who was, for all intents and purposes, the coolest cat. Players loved him. They'll do anything for him, and he was winning. And so, if I'm Kalani Sitake and I see the way that James Franklin went out, just assume that's the way you're going to go out. That you go to a national championship semifinal, and that still isn't good enough, even 8 months in after that same season. And Penn State has not been. Look, we talked about this. Penn State has won how many national championships? Maybe a few.
Penn State, not since the 80s.
86
right,
is when they won it. The way that Penn State gets talked about as a brand, you would have thought they won 10 since 1986. That's 40 freaking years ago. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about this this game on Saturday morning. UCF comes in. It was 14-0 before you could blink, and then BYU goes on a 41-7 tear, and they end up winning that thing 41-21. More importantly, how about Bear Bachmeier's performance? It may have been one of his best ones of the year. Now, interestingly enough, we predicted before the game during College Football Saturday, we were having this discussion. I was like, yeah, I think you're going to see a triple-digit, rushing performance by Bear and a triple-digit rushing performance by L.J. Martin. Now, L.J. was only 5 yards short, and that I felt like it was a pretty safe bet with that. But I just felt like Bear was going to kind of get loose on a team like UCF, who is way better at defending the pass than they are the run. They're the second best passing defense in the entire conference on the season. And he goes 21 for 25. And I counted 2 bad drops, by the way. A bad drop by Carson Ryan and a bad drop by JoJo Phillips.
And he did this without Chase Roberts.
No Chase Roberts. He was delivering the ball, and Parker Kingston had a big day when he needed to. But more importantly, Bear went 21 for 25 for 289 yards, the touchdown, and LJ added 3 more on the ground himself. I thought that was an awesome day for him. I was glad to see him get in the end zone as much as he did. And BYU runs away with this thing 41-21, and it feels like that it just still is not going to be enough for the committee to look at this team and take them seriously.
It's not. This game's not going to change their opinions. I think that they were kind of capped where they were. They got to go and beat Texas Tech. And that's a tall order. But if you want to prove you're a college football playoff team, go beat a college football playoff team. Go do it this week. Prove to everybody that what happened down in Lubbock was a fluke. That's not who you are. That's not what you are as a team. And despite all these distractions that are coming from this Kalani Sitake Penn State situation, you as players have a chance to do something special. How many college football players have a chance to go to the college football playoff? How many college football players have a chance to win a conference championship? How many players at BYU have had a chance to do something like this? It's been a long time since BYU players have had a chance to win a conference championship. Not since the old Mountain West days. BYU has a chance to do that on Saturday. And they have the benefit of already playing this team once before. They're relatively healthy. Right? Is Chase back? Is Chase Roberts back for Saturday?
I think that's going to be the case. I think that the vibe was.
I imagine that's why he was held out against UCF.
The vibe
to make
was
sure
that he actually could have played against UCF if he had to, and they decided. And Kalani said it after the game too. He's like, "Look, we made the right decision in making sure that Chase didn't play," which made it sound like they could have had him play, and it's the right choice.
You're healthier now than you were the first time you played them. Go prove that you belong. If they get waxed again, then do they have a case?
No.
Okay, then.
And it's not that they wouldn't necessarily have the same.
Everyone can stop whining and complaining about the college football playoff committee, blah, blah, blah. Of course they want to keep BYU out. Yeah. But they can't keep you out if you handle your business.
Right. It's a weird discussion to have, too, because in the postgame, everybody's wanting to know, like, hey, Kalani, do you think you guys should be there in the Big 12 even if you lose this? And, we were asking a guy to basically say, yeah, if we lose the game against Texas Tech, he doesn't want to talk like that. He wants to talk like, hey,
I want to go win this game.
I would prefer to just go in and win it, and then we don't have to have this discussion on whether or not we could be good enough to be there. And
go knock the door down.
We'll see what happens. I mean, look, crazier things have happened. This is not, by the way, last year, Iowa State and Arizona State, you got the vibe that Iowa State had no business being in that game from the get-go. And they lost it by, what was the score last year? Was it 40-something to 10 or whatever it was?
We're acting like BYU's playing the 2019 LSU Tigers on Saturday. That's not the case. Arizona State beat Texas Tech. I get it. They're really good. They're a juggernaut. But Arizona State found a way.
Yeah.
I know Baron Morton didn't play in that game. So what? Go win this game. If you believe you belong, you believe you're one of the best teams in the country, shouldn't you go win this game?
Yeah.
At least make it close.
45-19, by the way, was the final down in Arlington last year. And I would say the conference can't afford to have another blowout in their conference championship game.
No.
I say they can't afford it. It just doesn't look good. And for Brett Yormark, who today, during that press conference, talked about how top to bottom we're the toughest league, top to bottom. We're the deepest league. Well, if you have a conference championship game that somebody wins 45-19 the year before, then it looks like you have like one really, really good team and the rest are kind of
Exactly.
right? And so you don't want to be that team. You don't want to be those guys. So ASU last year blows out Iowa State and wins that thing. By the way, do you remember what the Sun Devils were ranked going into that game?
I don't.
College football playoff ranking. They were 11-2, or they were 10-2 going into that game. They were number 15 in the college football playoff. And Iowa State was 16. The thing is that they made this insane jump, right? And then they end up being, because Boise State was ranked higher than they were, Boise State ended up being that 4 seed. And everybody afterward went, well, okay, we're not doing this, right? But still, what I'm saying is it was a 10-2 Big 12 team that was the highest ranked Big 12 team after that conference championship. And they go up to 13 after that week, and then they get put into that spot as what were they? Were they the 12th seeded team in the whole thing too? 11th or 12th?
Who? Arizona State?
Arizona State, they were 12th.
No, because
right?
remember the conference champions got automatic buys.
Oh, that's right.
They were the 4th seed.
That's right. Yeah.
Boise State got the 3 seed.
Yeah.
And played the 6 seed Penn State.
Yeah.
And Texas was the 5 seed.
That's
My
crazy.
memory serves me correct.
Jordan Tyson didn't even play in that game, by the way, last year. He was hurt. So that's pretty nuts. All right. Well, the conference championship this weekend, a lot going on. I did want to play some of the audio from Kalani in the postgame. Here's what he said about Bear Bachmeier. This is a guy who he's watched all season long make absolute, dominant plays, but also be very, very young looking at the same time. And this is what he said about his performance on Saturday.
He made some true freshman mistakes, but I think he was pretty accurate, and there's a couple times, it's kind of hard when you want to tell him, correct him, but he already knows. So it's like, it's no fun when you're like, hey, you got to, I know, throw the ball away. It's like, all right.
I love it. You got to throw the ball away, man. But yeah, he goes 21 for 25. So one of the better performances of his entire career for 289. I think that's the third best throwing day yardage wise that he's had in the history of his young BYU career. I know you made that. You made that suggestion earlier, but do you really think Bear Bachmeier is a Big Ten quarterback?
Oh, 100%. Big, strong dude. Oh my gosh, he's got Big Ten all over him.
Listen, I know that we've said this before, but that coach at Portland State's head coach, he's dang freaking right about his legs, man.
He's a gosh dang centaur. There's no doubt about it.
I'm in the press room. Kalani's finishing his comments. Bear comes in. He's got his game pants on, and he's got like his rib protector on, and like just a compression top, socks on, and he's as tall as I am with just his socks on. Okay, and I'm not kidding. I'm looking at him like, he is a big. I think those are the same pants they would have given me. Those are the same pants they would have given me. They said, hey, you got a little bit of a rounder tush here. How about these 2XLs? That work for you? And I swear that's what he was wearing. Big old centaur. God dang centaur. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. When we do, we've got our Jazz Daily coming up. Utah Jazz trying to show up the Rockets a little bit after getting blown out yesterday, hoping to maybe get this rare back-to-back Rockets for a second night in a row. You're going to get the tip-off right here on the KSL Sports Zone, starting at 6 o'clock, and then a 7 o'clock tip. And you've got yourself more to go right around the corner. Let's talk Jazz next, right here at 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
You know what's coming.
Your daily deep dive into everything Utah Jazz.
It's time.
All season long and even in the off season, it's Jazz Daily with JJ and Alex on your exclusive home of Utah Jazz basketball. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome on in. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Alex Kirry, Jeremiah Jensen, Hanson Scotty, by the way, on Wednesday for their Cougar preview show. It'll be a nice little Big 12 Championship preview show. Hanson Scotty, noon to 3 at Tim Daly Nissan Southtown this Wednesday. 11155 South Jordan Gateway in South Jordan. Tim Daly, home of the Forever Warranty. We're going to be at JCW's down at American Fork, by the way, tomorrow for our Big 12 Championship. That's tomorrow, right? Yeah. Big 12 Championship roundtable. So we got you covered, getting you ready for this one. The added twist of trying to figure out this coaching staff, what it's going to look like, and how they're going to prepare for this Texas Tech team. Yeah, they're not going to go away. Texas Tech is going to be right there, man. We'll see. They want to make a special run. The way they do it is through BYU, and obviously the Cougars are the same way. So, JJ, I got something for you here. The Utah Jazz, kind of tale of two different teams with almost the same. What are the Rockets? 13-6. The Jazz are 6-13, something along those lines. And this Rockets team is one of the best offensive teams in the entire.
Yeah, 13-4.
Oh, that's a good Rockets team, and they beat up on the Jazz.
They are currently third in the West.
Yeah, they beat up on the Jazz yesterday. They have Kevin Durant, of course. They have a couple of the oldest guys on the planet playing on their team, by the way,
along with some really nice young players.
Yeah, and they're winning games, man, and they're scoring a lot of points. And yesterday was no different. What I noticed in this game yesterday was I was listening to a lot of it when I was in the car, and then I was watching some of it when I'd get home, and there was just this Jazz team from the get-go. A lot of times they've had decent first half, struggled in the third quarter. This was like from the get-go they were getting beat up because I think it was mid-second quarter and it was 55-31, and I was like, oh, boy. They're already down 22, 23, a couple minutes into the game, and it was a little bit ugly from that sense. But in those types of games, what do you learn, JJ? I noticed that they were pretty happy to say, hey, let's do these last 10 minutes, just watch him and see what Ace Bailey can do, feed him the ball, see what he can do. Let's get him to grow up a little bit. Those are important minutes.
Yeah, there's a couple things here. That's one of them, is this team is continuing to develop. They have some young players that need to continue to develop, and Ace had a good game. I think it was a frustrating game for Keontae. I don't think he was at his best. He's having a great season, though.
He is, yeah.
But it also shows you the gap that currently exists. This is a team that you're eventually going to chase. And this is a team, the Rockets, that went through what you're going through right now. The Rockets stunk for a handful of years, kind of after that James Harden run and Chris Paul and those good Rockets teams that the previous Jazz roster competed hard against. You know, the Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell era. Those Rockets teams kept the Jazz from advancing. Once that era died down, they had to go through some rough years. And it all seems to be paying off now for this Rockets franchise, who was able to get Alperen Sengun in a trade, essentially drafted him. Amen Thompson was a draft pick. Jabari Smith Jr. was a draft pick. You start adding this kind of talent over time. Reed Shepherd, I'm going to throw him in there. He's emerged this year. He was a first-round pick. They've got 5 players averaging 13 or more points per game. Kevin Durant, Alperen Sengun, Amen Thompson, Jabari Smith Jr., and Reed Shepherd. That's a good lineup. And I'm not even adding Steven Adams to the mix, who's a solid veteran in the middle. Tari Eason's a really good defender that plays on the wing.
Jeff Green's 1,000 years old.
Well, here's
kind of
the thing.
Same. By the way,
Clint Capella's on that roster too, by the way.
Yeah, and same time frame. Were they both on the Sonics at one point? Jeff Green and
I don't know if they were ever teammates. I'd have to look that up.
Look here. This is going to get McCraw here. Oh, look at this.
Were they?
2007, 2008 Seattle.
Okay, they were on that. Was that the last Seattle
And they
team?
were both, yes. And then they were both on that OKC team for, Green was on that OKC team till they got traded in 11, 12.
So they obviously have a history.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my point is, you draft high, you add that talent, and then you can go out and make a play for a guy like Kevin Durant to be that veteran presence. And all of a sudden, you've got a team that's contending. This Rockets team, with the talent they have with Kevin Durant, they're third in the West right now. This is a contender.
Yeah, for sure.
And so the steps that the Jazz have to take to go from where they're at right now to that point, you can look at the Rockets and think, you have to have some patience. You have to go through some hard times, but it's not terribly far off. If the Jazz get one more lottery pick, it kind of puts them over the top. They've got money under the cap. That's why they didn't extend Walker Kessler, is to allow them to have that flexibility financially to potentially add a big name to this already really nice group of young players with Lowry Markkanen. And when Walker Kessler's healthy again, and if you can figure out how to keep Walker Kessler, and they'll still have to work that out. I imagine Walker Kessler's not thrilled with the way they've handled that situation. But you don't blame the Jazz for doing it the way they have, made perfect financial sense. You suddenly have something with the Jazz that you can work with that's going to allow them to move into the future and be a really, really good basketball team. So tonight's a chance, and last night was a chance, for Jazz fans to look at this Rockets team and think, this could be us 2 or 3 years down the road. You do this the right way, you do this rebuild the right way, you make the right decisions, suddenly you're contending again pretty soon. And that's the goal for this Utah Jazz franchise. They're not going to do this forever. In fact, I think this is the last year this team misses the playoffs. I believe that.
Wow.
Because if you get that lottery pick next year and you add another key player through trade or whatever, you have Lowry, you have Keontae, you have Walker Kessler, you have that lottery pick, and you have Ace Bailey. Start winning games, and that's exactly what this Rockets franchise is doing right now.
I wonder too if there's because I look at this Jazz team, and by the way, that would be an upgrade mentality-wise. I think that we had as media guys covering this team, and fans hearing like, oh, it doesn't have to be another 4 more years of, 24 wins at most, and that's it.
You need some luck.
Yeah,
you got to hit on the right guys,
yeah.
and Alperen Şengün is that luck for the Rockets.
Yeah,
that dude
that's a great point,
is a superstar.
And he was drafted where? I mean, what number was he? I mean, how did
he was the 16th pick of the Oklahoma City Thunder in 2021.
See,
and the dude is an all-star, and he's going to be for a long time. He's 6'11", 243.
And you're playing alongside Kevin Durant too, by the way, who's 6'11", 7 feet.
And Amen Thompson is a freak of all freaks.
Legit.
That dude is so athletic, and he's good on both ends. And Reed Shepherd is coming along nicely. That's a good roster. And nobody talks about Jabari Smith Jr.
Well, no one talks about the Rockets nearly like they do about. I mean, the Thunder are 20-1. The Thunder are.
That's why no one's talking about them.
And 1, and they're on pace now. They won the World Championship last year, and then this year they're 20-1. They're on pace to go. Checks notes 78-4. JJ 78-4.
Is this the greatest NBA team of all time?
Da 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 da.
What does Stephen A. Smith think?
Puts his cowboy hat on. The Cowboys suck. That's all I know. And at the end of the day, the Cowboys aren't going to win a championship for 2 more decades. I would take a break. We'll come back. We've got more to go. Jazz tip-off, by the way, at 7 o'clock. That means a 6 o'clock pregame. That's top of the hour here. We're minutes away. So stay here. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Wrapping up the hour with our picks for the best and worst moments on today's show. As JJ and Alex want to hear your best and worst of the day.
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone, getting you ready for Jazz Rockets, for Mammoth Sharks. All of it coming up right here in just a few minutes here. You're going to start off first at 6 o'clock with your Jazz pregame. And then a 7 o'clock Mammoth pregame. And then games all around, all the rest of the night. I was looking at the Jazz. We were talking about Jazz Daily, by the way. Worst third quarter team in the entire league. It feels that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When you're watching games, you're like, hey, that was a nice little first half from them. And last night, they couldn't afford to have a bad third quarter, and they did. They had a bad third quarter. Scored 20 points in the third quarter, which they were already down, 18, 19 at the half, and they go down another. They go down by 30, basically, right before the end of that. So,
yeah,
we'll
it was a tough night for Lowry and Keontae.
I don't know what. Oh, Keontae had, I don't even think he had a point, did he? 19 minutes, 0 points for Keontae George.
Weird.
That was a funky stat line right there. But 19 points for young Ace Bailey. So there you go.
He only played 19 minutes. The whole thing. He
I
was
think
minus
they shut
27.
Her down.
Just a weird night. Like Keontae's been amazing, and all of a sudden, for that game, his body language. It was like old Keontae for one night. I'm sure it's just a one-time thing. I'm going to be very curious to see how Keontae responds tonight after that game.
Yeah. And that would be an interesting one because obviously he's had such a good year so far.
Oh, man.
He's got to be averaging – what's he averaging points-wise? He's got to be averaging 22, 24 a game. I mean
22 and a half. He's 25th in the league. Top 25 in the league.
And what's Lowry, 27 and a half?
Yeah, he's come down a little bit from that 30-point average, but he's still up there. Yeah. 27.9 is 12th in the league.
Man. Yeah, those are two phenomenal years for those guys. So that's an ahead of schedule ahead of schedule type situation then, because I don't think any of us saw Keontae George having the step up that he did. And a year where you don't have Walker Kessler for the rest of the season, not a bad time to be able to break out there and to be able to kind of show the rest of Jazz Nation where you're at. Mammoth Sharks, they need this one. They've lost 2 in a row.
I just don't see it. This team is really struggling.
Game time decision for young Logan Cooley, who I think when the injury happened, I thought to myself, that's a torn ACL. He's gone. I had those negative feelings as soon as it happened. So
good news, it wasn't that serious.
I mean, the NHL is a parity league, and it is really good hockey across the board. They could show up in San Jose, and they could stand up the Sharks, and I think they need it. So if they're going to do it tonight, be nice to have them get that one back and to get back on track with the winning ways and get a couple points there in San Jose. All right, for Jeremiah Jensen, I'm Alex Kirry. We will be back again tomorrow on the program. So this is all brought to you by the good folks at the Doug Smith brand of dealerships. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.